Hello and welcome back to FatherofTwo plays Sunless Sea Zubmariner, Blind. Last time, we explored a bit of the bottom of the Z after we stopped in Fallen London and bought some new weapons, one of which I can't use and was a fairly stupid purchase on my part. We ran into one of those ships, the sunken ships underwater, and we were gonna try and fight it until some type of terrifying manta ray showed up as well. So now we've stopped at Pig Mode Island. We're a little low on supplies, and we might have to turn back sooner than we want. But we'll see. We'll search for blue scintillac. It may have survived the island's fall. Detritus, tiny glimmers mark where the rodent's treasure met its end. What pieces remain are too small to be worth collecting, even as souvenirs. So we're all good from here. Hopefully we can find a port that will sell us some food. If not, we're going to be in dire straits, but it is what it is. We're going to go a little further to the east to see if we can find said supplies. Our terror is a little high at the moment as well, but who dares wins. We have to risk it and go a little further so that we can make some more money. So we have a new cannon. I guess I will quickly open the Gazetteer, whatever you want to call it. So we have this. The Caminus Yard's Hell Thrasher. Caminus Yards, stand well back. A weapon of savage and alarming power. So it's pretty good. This is another weapon we have. It's really good, but it's a forward weapon, so we're going to need to upgrade our ship. We'll need about 3,000. Oh, wrong button. We'll need about 3,000 echoes, I forgot what they were called for a moment there, to purchase said new ship. So we'll have to, what does that say? We'll have to be careful with our money, and we could probably do it. Oh, we've gained a secret. So we discovered a new port. You have gained, oh, let's go back up here and read this. We hear those voices that will not be drowned. This is the sea of voices. We are close to Polythreme. Where's Polythreme? Port Cecil. Ah, it's to our south. Well, let's hope that we could get some supplies. We have the echoes. The music's quite cool here. A little terrifying. It might have to do with my terror as well. So we'll make port at Port Cecil. I almost hit the edge there. Let's quickly look. Oh, they do have supplies. They're expensive. We'll buy a little bit of everything. And let's see what there is here in Port Cecil. A sourceless silver glow. A haven for players of games. Oh yeah. Looks like a pawn there. That kind of looks like a knight. I see it. Rumpled convolutions of coral fill the water, glimmering with silvery light. The harder you look, the more you see shapes amid the chaos, almost as if they were sculpted. This one could be a crenulated castle. That one, a horse's head. A neat little port huddles into the side of a coral island, prosaic imperial docks and houses tucked away in baroque organic chaos. In that curious silvery light among the frozen chaos of coral, the scene has the unreal air of a pencil sketch, crumpled and discarded. I love their artwork. Chess. Explore the coral knoll around Port Cecil. Gather intelligence. Put a Blemigan ashore. Sell your Apocian chess piece, or gather scintillac. We might want to gather some scintillac. That could make us some money. First things first, let's gather intelligence. What happens here? Chess, dreams, silver light. The older inhabitants of Port Cecil carry coral incrustations like a disease. Splotched with silvery light, They like to go up to the limestone heights behind the harbor to lay their heads against the pillars and towers, stare at the roof of the Neath, dream open-eyed sometimes. They speak of things far away, the Khanate's work, the smuggler wars, the Fathom King's secrets. Perhaps it's not all invented. Weird. Little creepy. So do we take the Chancy challenge? I think we do. Gather Scintillac. The best of the coral will fetch a high price in London, but walk the reef of the principles and you risk delusion and despair. Take your crew and go carefully. Fragments of silver. Where the Z washes across the coral's edge, it glows a rich purple. Each time it washes across your boots, you expect it to leave stains. You edge along the slippery coral, picking up lumps of brighter glowing stuff here and there, and though the Z doesn't stain, eventually it begins to whisper to you, phrases so clear that you catch yourself looking over your shoulder in case your crew have spoke. They have not. They're looking around just as you are. Between the stars, the Z says, descend the chain. When it runs out across the coral, it sounds like almost like a soft chuckle. I rest here, it tells you. I forget. So we gained some terror, that's not good for us. We did get some Scintillac, though. And we succeeded. So, I think all we can do now is play chess. Chess is popular in the Principles. The port is full of exiles, drunks, and washed-up Z traders. They all play, often, obsessively. Be careful, the chess pieces are carved from Scintillac here in the Principles. That could be very dangerous. One more game. You don't know how long you've been playing. You want a match, another. The rough coral tips of the chess pieces are smeared with blood. Yours, your opponent's. But you have begun to realize that your moves recapitulate the movements of the powers in the Neath, the flukes and their shapelings, the bazaar that lurks in London, Mount Nomad that prowls the sea, salt, stone, storm. With every move you take, the shape of it becomes clearer in your mind, sharper. Checkmate, you say. One more game? Your first officer is tugging at your arm. Ignore them. You have chess to play. Win enough games, and something else will occur. So we succeeded in a pages challenge, and we gained a secret. We have 17 secrets, I believe. We could level up a little bit, I think. Let's play another one. One more game. Initial gambits. 2 secrets. And we gained some pages. A chancy challenge. Let us play one more game. A distraction. You don't often look at chess pieces. Not really look. The bishops with their hooks. The knight with its mane and teeth. The kin and the cream, white mingled with red. The roots that pin the corner of the board down, to keep yourself safe from your opponent. You lift a paw to toy with it, touch its velvety pads. Checkmate, your opponent says. She grins. Oh, it's a lady, of course. Look too closely, did you? Or did we? You need to be careful with Scintillac chess sets. Your face is blank and white as the dome of a chess pawn. Get out. Get back to the ship until the waking dream of the coral cleaners. Ooh, so we got more terror. Okay, well, do we buy? I mean, we have more money. We should really use it to make sure we're going to run out of anything. Alright. Let us head further east. Yes. We'll see what else we can find. Maybe we'll dive under the Z, but I'm wary to do so whenever my... I always want to say sanity, but it is terror. Whenever my terror is very high, I'm very wary to dive down, because I'm pretty sure that's when a constant companion shows up. And as I've said before, this is not the kind of companion that you want. Just like death, I suppose. We found a bunch of stuff coming through here. Oh, we were going to... Let's take a look. We were going to level up something. What should we do? Mirrors, veils, iron. Should we up our iron? Is that a thing we can do? Increase your iron. Oh, but we could get wounds. You ready for this? It might hurt. Spend a secret to improve your iron. Not bad. Give you another 50 years, you'll be teaching me. Okay, let's do another one. A few. Let's get our irons way up there if we can. Okay, we have a wound. Sorry about that. The adventuress puts down her sword and helps you bandage the gash. Still, pain, the best teacher, eh? Oh, don't look at me like that. Okay, so we won't risk any more with her. What can the surgeon do for us? Pages. Yes, let's do it. Personal attention. He likes to sit very close when he speaks, the plausible surgeon. He speaks familiarly of diseases and hauntings, as if he knew their first names, but chose not to disclose them out of courtesy and discretion. This makes some of his advice confusing, but you do learn intriguing details. So let's do a few of those. 2 more. And we'll get to 40 with our boosts. So it's 36 total. And we have 8 secrets left. That's quite a few, so let's look at... Okay, he's got veils. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do a couple of, like, 3 into veils. This, and also this. Don't forget this, and never forget that. Okay. Oops, that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted to do. And we can put this away. I still remember the time my wretched Mog saved my life by tearing around, I think it was in Guider's Morn, jumping off of all of the... Oh, God. Jumping off of the stone and jumping onto the faces of my enemies. Ah, the Utter Shroom. Hello. The waves are cluttered with Z-wreck, like drowned hair drifting. The water is sluggish with hyphal threads. Violet vegetable bulks break the surface. Mycelgia. I guess this is the port. The Utter Shroom. Utter Shroom? The queenly core of this spore-haunted sea. Climb the fungal fiber ladders to its summit. Shaggy, suspicious villagers scratch a living here, amidst the endless clouds of spores and scurrying mobs of plant-animal hybrids. None of them ever leave. Monsters, one explains darkly. Z full of monsters. Visit the village, trade honey, or gather into... Oh, so this is where we get lemigans? Maybe? Gather intelligence. That seems like the most pertinent thing. What happens here on top of a mushroom the size of Marlborough? A slow survey. The villagers live a shabby but sufficient life the Utter Shroom provides. They are secretive, taciturn, incurious. Ships rarely visit. Let's visit the village. Hospitable? Not exactly. But they usually don't chase you off with sticks, and they usually let you sit beside their mildew-smelling fire. A day of spores we gain terror. The Utter Shroom releases spores according to its own inscrutable schedule. Today, the air is soupy thick. They coat your hair, they clog your throat, they gather like sleep in the corner of your eyes. Gross. Conversations with the Shroomers is impossibly hard. You return to the ship, where you find a tiny purple mushroom growing already in your ear. We gain terror, we got a tale of terror, and that's all for now. Any shops here? No, none at all. Well, back to Z then. We saw some type of dreadnought. North of us here, so we're gonna steer clear of that. I don't think we're powerful enough to take on a dreadnought as of yet. However, we are a little faster and a little more powerful than we used to be. Oh no. We'll turn off our light so as not to anger that beastie. That looks like the big brother of the other crabs we've been killing nearer to port. Let's check Okay, we don't have much further east to go. So once we get to the edge or close to it, we'll start heading north. And our terror is getting quite high, so it would do to return to London fairly soon. I would like to dive down, but I'm really wary of it right now. What is happening here? We found an island, it looks like. Aye. It looks like it's inhabited as well. Tory Point. A tiny breeze stirs your hair and then dies. No port here. Interesting. Oh, but we have more island. Empire of Hands. Well, a new port. Oh, what is this? Looks like a large airship. Can we go under this bridge? I'm not actually sure. Okay, we can. I slowed down so as to, only hit it once. If I was gonna ram into it. Okay. That's cool. It's not quite done, but that's a cool airship. Port Stanton. Well, we shall make port. A stern reminder from the Admiralty. In the name and by the power of her enduring majesty, a trade embargo and quarantine in absolute perpetuity has hereby been declared on the Empire of Hands. 1. No ship of London is to permit aboard a Pentecost ape without express and prior permission of the Admiralty. 2. Any and all acts of spirifage are prohibited. I don't know what that means. 3. They know what they did. Beware of stowaways. Keep a tight grip on your soul. Excerpt from the Standard Naval Regulations, Volume 4. Flea-ridden mare. With the regulations in mind, it is a surprise to be greeted by a mere itchy monkey in a tattered yellow robe, barely walking with the help of a ceremonial staff. An official greeting. "Hello!" cries the mare. That sounds like a Monty Python woman. I don't know how I should make a monkey sound. In the broken voice of one not yet used to human speech. "Come, make yourselves at home. All souls welcome in bountiful Empire of Hands." The crew shifts uncomfortably. They know the stories. It will take more than the natural beauty of this place to make most of them risk shore leave here. Let's go to Port Stanton. Soul-hungry monkeys reluctantly tend to this trading post, waiting for an opportunity to escape. Bloated fleas hop from ape to man and man to ape, gorging themselves without care for which is which. Shore leave. A parasynthetic jungle holds many dangers. Step carefully. There is no authority beyond the fence. An audience with the flea-ridden mare. Prepare a comprehensive port report. The Zeppelin. Gather strategic information for the Admiralty. The Admiral commissioned you to gather information. Here, at the Empire's edge, that's difficult, but you could pick up a few scraps. An intriguing snippet. If you could penetrate the court on Sovereign Island, you may be able to do better. Oh, so let's go. Perhaps not. Let's see if we can zail the Empire. In fact, first, let us talk with the mayor. He is not busy. No appointments are required. King of an empty castle, the flea-ridden mare scratches himself on a chair made of crates, surrounded by boxes of long, rotten trade goods. As a 5-souled ape, he would be able to petition for membership of the court. For now, the trade embargo has left him trapped on the outside, a 3-souled overseer with no talent for order. Oh, terrifying. The mayor's shack. In better times, being overseer of Port Stanton gave the incumbent their pick of visitors to the Empire. Now it is as thankless a task as any to be found in the Neath. Sell your soul to the mayor? No, not for 200 echoes. Acquire fresh supplies. Oddly, little of the Empire of Hands' natural bounty is edible. The monkey will help you find the edible stuff for a fee. Acquire emergency fuel. No, we don't need that. Excuse yourself, so let's get some supplies. A crate of berries, fruits, and more. Most of them taste unpalatably bitter, but they will do you and your crew no harm in the short term. So that's actually not bad. 1 supplies for 20. That's pretty standard. Well, we're not selling our soul, so we'll excuse ourselves. Oh, I forgot to read that. Let's Zale, the Empire of Hands. Communal wooden boats offer free passage to all travelers willing to row between islands. A scouting trip. Let's not go to Sovereign Island first. Let's go to the bottom one. Hearthsake Island. A thin pillar of greasy yet appetizing smoke rises from the only human settlement in the Empire. The Blumenbanch Quarantine. The Admiralty has never stated precisely why it seeks to keep the Empire confined, though most opposition to it fades once said opposers actually encounter a Pentecost ape. They have been easy to corral, however, though they do not lack wit. There is not an inventive bone in their hairy bodies, and no amount of stolen humanity has taught them the art of creating engines. But I see that ship over there. The Lost Treasure Hunter. Hearthsake Island. The survivors of a pirate expedition have stolen this island, where apes are unwelcome except as an entree. The Lost Treasure Hunter. Approach the village. Let's talk to this treasure hunter. He squints at a map, muttering incoherently. North for each of the city the bats have brought down. He wipes his brow. Have you seen a big X on the ground, by chance? I got these 4 map pieces that got me this far, and said X would mark the spot, but I couldn't find an X anywhere. He looks at the map sadly. It should be here. It says. Now where am I supposed to dig? He is too busy to talk right now, but adds that he will be in the village later if you want to trade adventuring supplies. Don't try the meatballs, he warns, getting back to his research. You just don't want to do that. Let's approach the village. Greasy smoke and guilty, tempting aromas rise from a collection of huts around a long-beached pirate ship and a field of pointedly impaled monkeys. An explosion almost takes off your head. Sorry about that, booms the boisterous pirate, lowering a smoking blunderbuss as bits of shattered tree rain down. New arrival, are we? Well, if you haven't got a tail, you're all right by me. He squints momentarily suspicious. You don't have a tail, do you? Wouldn't put it past the thieving little buggers to go shaving one of their own. Wouldn't know fair play if it kicked 'em up right up the arse. His voice is louder than his blunderbuss. The congealed meat juices in his thick beard are better not considered. Is that him? Gross. It was not madness that drove these pirates to cannibalism, but years of being shipwrecked without the comfort of meat. After a while, any meat would do. Return to the boat. They seem a friendly sort, and are shocked at the idea that they would ever be such poor hosts as to eat a guest, but then, they have no shortage of supplies. Back to Port Stanton. The Z is quiet. The journey is pleasingly uneventful. You have not been eaten by cannibal pirates, all things considered. A successful trip. Yeah, that's usually how I measure the success of my trips. Not being eaten by cannibals. That's a good meter to go by. Ancient secrets peek out of the trees. Any may visit, but few penties ever bother to make the pilgrimage. Fountainhead Island. A young, ancient empire. The Empire of Hands is hardly as old as they pretend, but mimicry and theft infuses their whole culture. If the Penties have come to think that rulers should be buried in ancient temples, then it is ancient temples they will build. It would hardly be the first time their attempts to mirror humanity have entirely missed the point. Fountainhead Island. Swiftly growing vegetation keeps a thick forest wrapped around the variable ancient ruins. Even the yet-to-be plundered ones are heavily scarred with crowbar marks. Temple in the forest. Treasure hunt. We can't do that. And return to the boat. So, we'll go to the temple in the forest. In a clearing of parasynthetic trees looms an imposing structure of wood and stone. The Vault of the First Emperor. It stretches through the forest in a number of styles, each designed by the whims of the latest Pentecost apes who felt it needed to be made grander. It would take a delicate team to break in and uncover its secrets. Perhaps you will bring one here later. Return to the boat. It will take better equipped expedition to uncover this island's secrets and treasures. An investigation for another day. Perhaps there is someone in fallen London who might be able to help you get to the treasure of this island. So we explored Fountainhead. Let's go to Ash Isthmus. Isthmus? I can't say that word. Neither man nor ape claims this volcanic remnant between islands. Haunted, they say. Ridiculous. Of apes and monkeys. The trip offers a little time to think on the Penties. Technically, they are monkeys rather than apes, but it is not tactful to remind them of this. To their high-souled faces, the accepted name is Pentecost apes. In private, though, the bloody monkeys is about as common. It is, one might say, an ad hominid insult. Or ad hominoid. Clever. Ash Isthmus. Black beaches give way to an oasis of gently glowing trees and the scent of rotting flowers. Enter the forest or return to the boat. We'll enter. Parasynthetic vegetation thrives in the Empire of Hand's fertile soil and cool humidity. Into the woods. Wide natural paths run between the clumps of trees, lit by a dim green glow and the occasional glimmer of false stars through the canopy. Only the cracking of leaves and the soothing sound of water breaks the serenity of this volcano-forged paradise. Black beaches give way to an oasis of gently glowing trees and the scent of rotting flowers. Hunt for supplies? No. Relax in a hot spring. Return to the boat. Let's relax in the hot spring. Steam and a hint of sulfur gently rise from a secluded natural pool flanked by trees and mushrooms. A moment for yourself. You slip out of your itchy clothes and into the welcoming caress of hot, deep water. The salts and sweats of sailing life melt away as you simply float bare and free. Above false stars glimmer bright enough to be worth wishing on. All around, the glow of the trees cast ambient calm on the silent peace. How long has it been since you had a moment like this? Since London? Longer. Or, sorry, that was a question as well. Longer? A thought for the past? A thought for the future? A thought for the east? A thought for the Z? Let's do a thought for the Z. As mysterious and deadly as the first day you set sail on her, she remains your mistress and your kingdom. The endless adventure. You could travel a lifetime and never see all her secrets. Perhaps it has been longer. Time moves differently out here, in the still blackness and changeless light of candles and false stars. You had a chance to start over. Had you a chance to start over, what would you have done differently? What paths might you have followed? What deeds could you still... Wait, what was that? Sounded like giggling? Caught. A tiny blonde girl perches watching on a rock. Her innocent grin is spiced with mischievous glee. She moves like a monkey, but she giggles like an imp at the look on your face at being caught bathing in her hot spring, and the one that floods onto it as she scoops up your clothes. Shipwrecked as a baby, raised by the Empire of Hand, she now plays between the world of apes and men, neither quite one nor entirely of the other. Demand that she put those clothes down at once. A desperate swim. Curse these relaxed limbs. Let's demand. At once, you shout, or there shall be trouble. The anger only makes it funnier. The monkey foundling sticks her tongue out, grins, and scampers off into the forest on all fours. Your stolen possessions in a leather bag slung over her back. Her giggling echoes from deep in the forest as you splash after her in your goosebumps. Chase the monkey foundling. Damn it! You cannot return to the crew like this. Yeah, let's do that. Into the forest. The branches scrape your skin. The damp mud squidges between your toes. There's no sign of the monkey foundling, but her tracks are easily followed. A forest clearing. The footprints lead here. She has not even attempted to hide them. It is as if she wants you to follow. Ouch! Your hand slaps to your stinging buttocks. The little stones land in the dirt as familiar giggle comes from above. You look to see the monkey foundling dangling upside down from a branch by her legs, a blowpipe in her hand, and a bag just out of your reach. Tantalizingly so. Taking a deep breath, you politely, very politely, request that she return your damned clothes now. The monkey foundling listens, and gives it some thought, tapping her blowpipe against her lips as she decides. Say please. She grins. Please, there it is said. The monkey foundling thinks for a moment. Pretty please? Pretty please. With an imaginary cherry on top if she likes. The monkey foundling has never heard of cherries. Pretty please, she adds, stifling a giggle. Damn it! It is freezing! How much longer? Pretty please. The monkey foundling is poker-faced. Pretty please? Pretty please! Your anguish please echoes through the trees. A gift from the monkey foundling. You appear to have pretty pleased her, and she decides you deserve a reward. She fishes in her bag and generously throws you a sock, a single solitary sock. She learns a few new swear words as she races off across the branches, near doubled up with laughter. Pursue. She moves effortlessly through the branches above. A trap! Your feet step into the coiled rope just as the monkey foundling cuts loosely a counterweight and you feel yourself flying upside down into the trees. Of course she has traps. The wider empire has no shortage of would-be invaders, man and monkey alike. She sits back and enjoys the show as you flail around trying to get free, before apparently taking pity on you. Pity, however, turns out to be casually and without warning cutting through the rope, dangling you in the air and sending you falling back with a surprise thump to the muddy forest floor. It knocks the air out of your lungs, but you are otherwise unharmed. She pauses for a moment to make sure, before her grin spreads back again and she races off to continue the game. The chase continues. The monkey foundling slides down a vine in front of you. She sticks out her tongue and scampers through a break in the forest. A marsh of terrible stench. It is a place that skunks would think twice of entering, if the Empire of Hands had such creatures. The monkey foundling, of course, is unconcerned. As much at home here as high in the branches or running the forest paths. She almost dances effortlessly across a thin fallen tree that crosses the mire, surrounded by the foulest bubbling mud that has ever invaded your nostrils. She balances in the middle, daring you to try and follow. She wants to play. You'll play. Though the crossing is treacherous, particularly when one's hands are torn between modesty and balance. Okay, let's try it. You slowly cross the marsh. It is slow going. Your muddy feet slide against the thin trunk as it buckles and strains under your weight. Inch by inch, step by step, you slowly make your way across. Until, bored, the monkey foundling suddenly jumps up and down hard. The tree rolls under your feet. Your balance fails. You slip, tumble, are embraced by a marsh whose smell will never leave you. You fight to the surface, streaming brown and dripping green, violently coughing up a gagging throatful of foul slime. The monkey foundling sits cross-legged in the safety of the trees, holding her nose as she points and laughs. I'm so angry with her. The monkey foundling dances. She pirouettes on a tree stump, saluting as you approach. Ambush! A screeching Pentecost ape drops from the branches. The shock on the monkey foundling's face makes it clear this is not part of her little game. Its rage is focused entirely on her, the ghost of the Ash Ismuth, and the bright soul with which it can uplift itself to glory. It limps from some trap earlier, its fur blood-soaked and glistening. It lunges at the monkey foundling, who half rolls, half falls off the stump, and yelps as it catches her by the leg. She rolls, shrieks her own howl as she lashes back with a kick that shatters fang and split its lips. This only further enrages the frothing ape. It strikes. Help the monkey foundling. She meant you no real harm. She was only playing. Rock beats ape. You reach for a stone and bring it crashing down on the distracted ape's head. Its skull cracks, dampness spreading. It collapses to the ground hard. It is not a child's face that looks up at you. Still, you reach a hand down. The monkey foundling just stares at it for a moment, and something human returning as the adrenaline fades. For a moment, it almost looks as though she will take it. But no, she leaps up on her own, bounding away towards the dark safety of her jungle, and then stops, hesitates. She looks back and tilts her head, beckoning you to follow. It is a look that suggests the game is over, but perhaps not quite yet finished. A small hut in the middle of the forest. Is this where the monkey foundling lives? Why would she lead you here, of all places? playmate of the monkey foundling. The monkey foundling herself is nowhere to be seen, but she has left you something. It sits outside the hut, carefully placed by a large happy face drawn in the black sand, a little prize for being such a good sport. Your clothes, however, are nowhere to be seen. Of course, as the monkey part of her would no doubt demand, where would the fun be in that? We got an outlandish artifact. Well, there's no avoiding this any longer. Return to the ship. An out-of-uniform experience. The crew reacts with the expected amount of sympathy to your naked return, which is to say exactly none. By the time you board the ship, every last crew member is on hand to see and cheer, with more than a couple letting off flares of impromptu fireworks. It is many, many days before the needling ceases, and you are able to give an order without first scouring it for innuendo. On the plus side, it does boost at least the rest of the ship's mood while it lasts, and you have a new treasure for your collection. You've had worse days. Well, we lost Terra, that's good. We're going to go to Sovereign Island before we quit and compile our port report. The heart of the Empire... the Sovereign Island. A wooden palace stretches across the whole island. Passage to it lit by a field of tiny glimboys. The heart of the Empire. Many boats circle the island, all keeping their distance. The one that gets closest is an extended rowboat painted in yellow, whites, and reds. 4 servant monkeys strain at the oars, while its true passenger sits in comfort behind a gauze curtain. Just for a moment an eye catches yours, but only for a moment. It would not do for this high-souled ape to see something so beneath its notice. Today, the sprawling palace is called the Wild-Wheeled Court. Tomorrow, who knows? The world of the Pentecost apes is one of cruel whimsy where stolen traditions last only as long as their amusement. Gain access to the court, which we can't do, because we need a gift, okay, or back to the boat. We'll go back then. There is more sailing to be done today. The guards stare as you row away. It will take some effort to ingratiate yourself here. Perhaps if you could find something on one of the other islands. Exploration complete. Perhaps you can use this information you've gleaned. Prepare a comprehensive port report. Few have reason to brave the waters this far east, especially with the trade embargo. The Admiralty will pay especially well for up-to-date intelligence. The islands of the Empire. All of them warrant further attention. For now, though, it would be best to see if your initial discoveries can whet the interest of anyone back home. Okay, and anything to do in Port Stanton? Shore leave. Let's do this. Gather strategic information. Words on the wind. The barely sold monkeys of Port Stanton mutter together in a dozen bastardized dialects, invented stories, gossip 20 years old, intimate revelations from the scrap of subconscious knowledge that adhere to souls. The effect is of sampling a rich, fascinating stew that might just possibly contain rat droppings. The Admiral would regret this mission as a failure, but others might be interested. Regard this mission as a failure. So we got an intriguing snippet and a Z story. Let's permit some shore leave. The parasynthetic jungle holds many dangers. Step carefully. There's no authority beyond the fence. Buried treasure? Being buried? Deep in the forest, an important-looking ape in yellow robes oversees 2 lesser monkeys as they dig a hole in the ground. Having dropped a strange-looking idol into the pit and covered it up, one scrapes a deep X over it, while the other slides a map into a bottle, corks it, and scampers off to throw it into the Z. Curious. However, any treasure hunter who may find the map and follow it here will be out of luck. Another outlandish artifact. Poke around the shore. No, we had a good outcome there. We won't try again. Oh, the Zeppelin. Intense work is underway across the bridge. Turned away, 2 monkey guards wielding rifles and rusty bayonets block the bridge. This is not for your eyes, outsider. Avert them. Walk away. Walk faster. Good human. Alright. No shops here. Well, until next time, if you enjoyed it, please leave me a like. Subscribe if you want to see more. And leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. This is FatherofTwo, signing off.